Take a moment to look back. How many times in your life have you promised yourself, "Tomorrow I will change. Tomorrow I'll eat healthier. Tomorrow I'll stop losing my temper. Tomorrow I'll finally start writing that dream book." But that tomorrow rarely comes. Not because you are weak, but because both body and mind have been trained for too long to repeat the old patterns. We like to think we're in control of our choices. But in truth, most of our daily actions are just reflexes. Habits are like the ruts carved by wagon wheels on a dirt road. The more often they pass, the deeper the groove, and the wheels fall into it without effort. So if you want to turn in a new direction, you must be willing to face the initial resistance, that awkward, uncomfortable, and often doubtful feeling. Small steps, great power. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do not dream of living your whole life in one day. Live today as best you can." This means you don't have to overturn your whole life overnight. You only need to change one reaction, one action, one small choice. Not grabbing your phone the moment you wake up, not answering when provoked, not rushing to judge another person. These tiny acts are like laying the first brick for a new road. Each day, another brick. In a week, you'll see a path forming. In a month, you'll notice a different direction. In a year, you'll find yourself standing in a place completely different from where you began. Discomfort, the sign of growth. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's the proof you're stepping out of the old. Seneca said, "No man becomes stronger without going through trials." When your heart resists and your body screams, "Go back to safety," that's not a signal of failure. That's the signal you're moving in the right direction. It's like training a muscle. The burning ache while lifting weights isn't a sign of damage, but of growth. The mind works the same way. Each time you refuse to fall back into an old reaction, you are building a new mental muscle, rebuilding the garden of the mind. Imagine your mind as a garden. If each day you feed it with worry, anger, regret, soon weeds will cover everything, blocking out the light. But if you patiently pull out those weeds and plant seeds of gratitude, courage, and calm, slowly, the garden will change its colors. No one transforms a wild patch into a blooming garden overnight, but anyone can begin with a single strike of the hoe, a single seed, and then, spring will come to those who do not lift their hands from the soil. 1. Habit. The invisible prison. Imagine this. Before your feet even touch the floor each morning, you have already dragged yesterday's emotions into the present. An old argument, a past mistake, a fear that never even happened. The brain cannot distinguish between memory and reality. It makes your heart race, your stomach tighten, as though the danger were still right there. So before the day has begun, you are shackled to the past. You are no longer living. You are simply performing the same old script. Carl Jung once reminded us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. We call it destiny, but in truth, it is only unexamined habit. 2. The trap of old emotions. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Indeed, most of your worries are not born from the present, but from replaying the same old scenarios. A single anxious thought can ignite a physical chain reaction, pounding heart, sweaty palms. The body responds, and the brain interprets it as real danger. Feeling confirms thought, thought amplifies feeling. Soon, you are not just experiencing stress, you are becoming stress. That is why change is so difficult. It is not only about breaking habits of action, but breaking habits of emotion. 3. The dangerous pull of the familiar. The body craves the familiar, even when the familiar is pain, because familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar hope. When you choose forgiveness instead of resentment, your body resists. This isn't who you are. Start tomorrow. But that voice is not truth, it is only the echo of history. Plato reminded us, the greatest victory is to conquer oneself. And this battle is always silent, between the old self pulling you back and the new self inviting you forward. 4. The vicious cycle of stress. Animals in nature know how to return to balance. The deer that escapes the wolf trembles for a moment, then goes back to grazing. Humans are different. We escape an imaginary wolf, yet our minds replay the chase hundreds of times. The result? A body that lives in constant alarm, shallow sleep, weakened immunity, a mind always on guard. Seneca warned, He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. But if thought can make us sick, thought can also make us well. 5. Replanting the garden of the mind. See your mind as a garden. Painful memories, regrets, anger, they are weeds that have grown wild. If not cleared, they choke the soil and prevent new seeds from taking root. Every thought is a seed. If you plant gratitude, you harvest peace. If you plant vision, you harvest strength. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The question is not whether you are planting seeds, but what kind of seeds you are planting each day. 6. Resistance, the gatekeeper of change. Every journey of transformation begins with an invisible enemy, resistance. It doesn't shout in your face. It whispers, "You're not ready. Tomorrow is better. Why bother changing?" But remember, in every hero's story, there is always a gatekeeper to test them before they cross into a new world. Resistance is your gatekeeper. It is not there to destroy you, but to ask, do you truly want to step through this door? And one small step, saying no to an old habit, choosing patience over anger, choosing silence over argument, is enough to begin rewriting your life's script. 7. Stoic tools for inner freedom. The Stoic philosophers left us simple yet powerful tools. Distinguish what is within your control and what is not, Epictetus. When you realize your focus should be only on your thoughts, actions, and attitude, you stop wasting energy on what you cannot change. Choose silence over anger, Marcus Aurelius. Silence can be the loudest reply, proving you are master of yourself. Practice gratitude by noting 3 small blessings each day: sunlight, a greeting, a calm breath. You retrain your brain to seek joy instead of danger. These are not theories, they are ways of living. 8. Recreating yourself, a lifelong journey. Change never arrives through one grand decision. It is born from small actions. Repeated, you anchor yourself in the present, and little by little, the body learns to trust the mind. As Aristotle taught, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Each time you choose calm over irritation, gratitude over resentment, courage over procrastination, you are rewiring your brain. You are reshaping your life. 9. What is true freedom? Most people believe freedom means doing whatever you want. But Stoicism insists, true freedom is self-mastery. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom is not the absence of hardship. Freedom is walking through hardship without letting it turn you into someone else. 10. Rewrite the script of your life. You cannot change the past, but you can refuse to let the past keep writing your future. Each morning, you face 2 choices. Drag the weight of yesterday into today, or clear the garden and sow fresh seeds. Stoicism does not promise an easy path. It promises you will become stronger, wiser, and freer. And that is the greatest gift of all. The ability to live fully in the present, unbound by the past, unthreatened by the future. The final question is this: will you let yesterday keep writing tomorrow? Or will you take the pen and rewrite the script of your life? Sparkles, dare to step through resistance, because on the other side of discomfort lies freedom. Right finger if this message resonates with you. Continue walking with us on the Stoic journey, where every day is an opportunity to recreate yourself.